and it grew all summer, got to about 8 feet, and then in around September I dug it up and I put burlap around the root ball, and it's been in the cellar since, so about 8 months, and it seems to be still alive, and hopefully I'll be able to put it outside and see if I can get this to flower and hopefully produce some bananas here in Massachusetts. I like the challenge, so I thought I'd give it a try. I read that you can store, a lot of people store these, they put them in the cellars, or they put them in crawl spaces, and you can wrap insulation around them. Some people wrap lights around them, keep them in the ground. Perhaps they have these heating cables you can put in, and people try different projects. Maybe build a temporary structure over it to keep it from freezing if you are in an area that does see freezing temperatures in the wintertime. But I had some others that didn't make it, and one of the problems is rot. And since most of the banana tree is composed of water, once rot sets in, it just keeps on feeding on itself and multiplying, and once it reaches the center, it starts going down the trunk, and unless you cut that portion off and dry it out and stop the rot, it'll go all the way back down to the root ball, or the corm as they call it, and you'll have to start all over again if you don't lose the corm. And here's an example. This one here was small enough to actually bring in the house, and I should have, but I was storing it as a just a dry root ball, and if you look at the outside, this is I already cut it up. The stem looks green, and it's deceiving because it looks like it's surviving. But let me show you what you'll find. Here's the top of it, which I had cut off, and if you can see, the center is brown and mushy and rotten. So this isn't going to grow anymore. And if you cut it open, here's this section. If you cut this section open, well, I didn't cut this section open. Let's look at this. This is the section below that. And you can see it's rotten in the middle too. So I just keep on cutting it in section at a time, hoping that I'd save some, but I pretty much almost got down to the base. And you can see here, this was rotten. Actually stopped here, so I did go a little bit past where I don't know, the outside ring here also was rotten. But I cut it back to a point. I mean, this looks like there's still some rot here, but not really. It's just a little bit right there. I had this out in the sun, and it's dried out, and hopefully the center here will start sprouting out a leaf. And if you look at this, it's almost like when you wrap or you roll a newspaper and you pull out the center section, and that's where the leaf comes out. And it just as the new leaf comes out, the diameter of the trunk gets larger and larger. So if the center portion dies, it's not going to go anywhere. And so you need to cut out that rot. So hopefully I'll put this out in the sun and get the soil to start warming up, and we'll be able to see the progress here. Again, it's unfortunate that I have to start over again, but let's see what progress this will make, or if I can save this at all. Here's another larger corm, and I've just peeled off as much rot as I can, and there are a couple of side suckers, so this is still viable, and I'll plant this. And bananas grow really fast, so although it looks like it would have been nice to have the larger banana trees saved, but I'll start over again and see what happens this year. But my impression is that the larger the banana plant that you can save, it seems to store better. That could be that this was just an accident. I don't have a whole bunch to go by, but this particular one is holding out, and there is at the very end here the leaf that's still rolled up, and it doesn't, I don't see, I mean, this is really dry, so hopefully you know, one more month. This is May, so at the end of May, or maybe in a couple of weeks, I'll be able to put this outside without any threat of frost, and we can see what progress we can make for this summer, and maybe I'll get a flower this summer, who knows. So give it a try. You know, it's another challenge to try to grow different plants that, you know, don't normally grow in the area that you're in. And it'd be interesting. I guess the bananas that you can get, the varieties, are a lot different than the generic banana that we're all used to in the grocery store. So you've got names. I don't know if this, that's another thing, is you want to make sure that you tag these and keep track, because I'm not sure what variety this is, but you have varieties called ice cream banana, and it's got a very interesting name. I guess it's supposed to have hints of vanilla, and you know, it's supposed to be a lot different flavor than what you would find in the grocery store. So that's one of the interests that you might have, to give it a try. So thanks again, and we'll see if I can post later on what progress I've made.